Hi, Ali.
Hey, guys.
For anyone watching who doesn't know me, my name's Kevin Yank. I'm the Director of Front-End Engineering at CultureAmp, and I go by he, him. And I'm chatting with Ali here on her second last day at CultureAmp.
So my name's Ali. I'm soon to be former tech lead of our design system, Kaizen. My pronouns are she, her. I live in beautiful sunny Newcastle, right near the beach and the lake. And I've been at CultureAmp for about 2 years, almost 2.5 years. Kaizen is it's a lot of things, but for engineers, it's a component library that's built in React. We use TypeScript and also for now we use Sass, but that's likely to change sometime in the future.
I mean, I've watched as over the past 2 years, you've been in a small team of engineers. You've been the only engineer working on Kaizen. Now you're in quite a large team of engineers working on Kaizen. What kinds of things, like what kinds of problems have you worked on while you've been here?
Yeah, like you said, there's been a lot of different shapes of teams that we've kind of worked in over the last 2 years. So, but ultimately, like the core objective has always been the same. Like we want to build UI that actually helps our consumers, and our consumers are primarily other engineers at CultureAmp. So no matter what, if you have a small team, whether you're solo, whether you're in a larger team, like that should be the primary objective. So I found that is like the main problem. Like that's the main problem we're trying to solve, and that's really what drives the technical solution, and as well as like the organizational solutions as well, like the processes that help us build Kaizen better.
What's challenging and what's rewarding about leading the engineering of a design system?
I think what's rewarding is just seeing people enjoy the experience, and also just having people trust myself and the team to make and to build the system to help them. Like there's a lot of trust that the teams put into us to build something that is useful to them, and it's always good getting feedback from the teams about how the design system has helped them, whether it's improved their quality or improved their consistency or their speed to ship to market. So yeah, I really enjoy hearing the feedback, and it's great, like compared to being in maybe like a more product oriented team, like our customers are the designers in the company and the engineers in the company, and we get like a much tighter feedback loop because of that. And it's nice to be able to interact directly with them and hear about what is working and also what is not working. And I guess it's a double-edged sword. So the things that can be challenging is managing a lot of different opinions about how we approach certain problems. But that can apply to anything.
Yeah. I want to ask, like, what's the disagreement that has now come up 20 times around Kaizen that keeps the same thread keeps happening again and again? I don't know if that's a useful question to ask.
I mean, I know what it is off the top of my head, and that's.
I know. I feel like I started the fire yesterday. Was it me?
Really
I think it might have been me. What was it?
So it's class names. So whether we allow our engineers to pass in and override styles on the component. So whether we open up class name to them or not.
Yes.
Yeah, and we've taken a fairly middle of the road approach where we allow people to do it, but we actively discourage it, and that's kind of reinforced in what we've named it, which is class name. And I have spoken to DST, which is the design system team. So.
Yeah, I love it too. Kaizen was not your first design system.
So I would say my first taste of working in design systems and where I started to develop a really good interest in it is working at a company called Fox Sports. And we started with like a pattern library, like very kind of humble little library. very like engineer specific, and we kind of built this as a way to help us build UI quicker. We did have like a little bit of input from designers, but I really, I think what helped me find my next role after that was like I really wanted more. Like I really wanted to work with designers a little bit more and like really build something that's really a collaboration between engineering and designers. So that's kind of what took me to my next role at Lendy, where we built the design system, Lendy UI or Louis. So yeah, we'll working. I had a designer embedded in my team. It was really what I was looking for. It was a nice collaboration between engineers and designers. We built, a pretty good system. We were like quite immature. Like we were working semi-embedded in teams, and we were helping teams like adopt the UI as well. But I didn't really get a taste of like a mature system or like a more mature system with more engineers until I came to CultureAmp, which is where, we started, I started to have to think about like, what does this change mean for our users? Or like, if I do this thing, what's the benefit for my users, and how could it hurt the users as well? So really starting to like think about how we build and grow the system in a really sustainable way, so our consumers don't have change fatigue and they're still interested in helping us help them.
Yeah, cool. And so then CultureAmp and Kaizen, and now what?
So yeah, I've decided to make a bit of a career change. I'm going back to uni. I'm going to study environmental management or environmental science and management. I just thought I wanted a change of scenery, stop and smell the roses, I suppose. And in some ways, like I think there's a lot of similarities between where I am now and where I may be in a couple of years. I mentioned it in my going away message at Slack, in the CultureAmp Slack channel, that I'm still kind of working design systems in some ways. It's just a natural design system rather than a technical one.
I think I can say on behalf of everyone here who's had the privilege to get to know you over the past couple of years that, as we have watched the incredible plants in your background evolve over the years, and heard about your frogs and your chickens and everything else you've got going on there in Newcastle, like I can see you nerding out on this stuff in the most exciting way, and I'm really I guess we all want that for you, and we're very excited that you're going to get it.
Awesome, thank you.
So bringing it back to Kaizen here, like looking back on the past couple of years, what are some things that you would highlight as like ways Kaizen has changed, big design decisions we've made, maybe even blind alleys or side trips we've gone on that we probably wouldn't do again if we had the experience?
Well, I mean, during my last two and a bit years here at CultureAmp, we've gone through 2 rebrands. So
yeah,
it brings all these interesting technical challenges. And it's nice to have the experience of the first one to inform the second one. Like one thing that we introduced after the first rebrand was design tokens. So that's the tokens that we share. So whether it's color, whether it's animation, shadow, sizing and space, and so on. So we've kind of standardized those for all of our components. So that was a big change, and that really helped us a lot with the second rebrand, because we had a theme. So we had the old theme, which was, we called it Zen, and the new theme, that was Heart, and we could run them in tandem just by switching out the design tokens. So I think that's something that I think worked really, really well for the rebrand. And like just seeing the whole product change in like a matter of months, I think that's something that really proud of the team for achieving.
You talk about the product changing over the course of months. That's what it looked like for the engineers doing it. For the people using it, the product changed in an instant. And the ability to do that across So many code bases, so many teams, different Webpack builds, all of them were wired up so that customer by customer, on the day we wanted for it to change, we were able to throw the switch and the entire visual brand of our product changed with it. That's an incredible achievement. Like that is a design system pulling its weight.
Yeah, absolutely. I was very, very happy to, yeah, you know, a user could log in at the end of the day, and the next day everything is different. And yeah, it would have looked really great for a user just to see it flip over in an instant.
Anything that's still in Kaizen that you wish we had already gotten rid of by now? Like, what's the unfinished business or the mess you regret leaving behind? We all have those.
We do. There's a few things. I think because we put a lot of consideration into the engineers that use Kaizen, we can be slightly change adverse. So we don't want to, you know, deprecate things unless we need to, or there's components that are deprecated and we actively discourage people from using, but we haven't actually deleted it from the code base. So there's quite a bit of technical debt in the system, but you know, we're partnering up with our front end ops team. We had a really interesting show and tell today, in particular, and it seems like there'll be like a lot of solutions that they can help us out with to move a little bit quicker and also make those breaking changes a lot nicer for our consumers as well. So I'm hoping the next tech lead could help lead the charge with that. But that is something that is on my mind for the next tech lead. I'm sorry, but you know, help is on the way. We have great partners at CultureAmp.
Speaking of which, any day now, probably by the time you're watching this, the role for tech lead for Kaizen is up on CultureAmp's job site. So if leading a React component library and design system maintained by an amazing team of 9 people now, 2 designers and 7 engineers, including yourself. If that's your dream job, sign up now. Like, we want to hear from you. Running a design system it's an experiment every day. I think you would agree, Ali. There's no right way to do it that everyone knows, and you're just following the playbook. You're figuring that out as a new thing that exists in the world for the first time every day. And if that's what you've been dying to do, we'd love to talk to you about filling the very big shoes that Ali's leaving behind.
No pressure.
No pressure. Okay, so you won't be here for me to ask you this question after this week. So I always like to end these interviews with like a values moment where I talk about one of CultureAmp's values and we try to use it. So this is amplify others. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask you, like, who should I interview next after you're gone? Of all the campers you can think of, who's the next person I should record one of these with and put it on LinkedIn?
I would say Aaron. So I worked with Aaron. I was his mentor while he was in a team called Web Properties. So he was working on the customer or the marketing kind of experience, and he's really interested in design systems, and his end goal was to land in our team. But we've got him in to our product team, and you know, should a position open up for him, I'm sure he would apply for it in an instant. But I think he would have a really interesting perspective on how he's kind of moved between different roles in the company, and also where he wants to go in the future.
All right. Okay. I'll put him on my list. I hope he says yes, because you've just amplified him.
I'm sure he will. He's such a nice guy as well.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thanks for doing this, Ali. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to see the systems you design in nature.
Thank you. And don't be a stranger.
I won't, for sure. Bye for now.
Bye.